We are the American Indians. Copper color Indians, baby. A real Indian, American Indian is me, not from Africa. Remember that.
African Americans here, but they recently moved here from places like Kenya, Ethiopia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Zaire. But now the brother whose family's lived in this country for generations, occupying space in all the locations, New York, Miami, LA, Detroit, Chicago, even if he's wearing a dashiki and sporting an afro. And if you go to Africa in search of your race, you'll find out quick, you're not an African American. You're just a black American in Africa taking up space. Why you keep trying to attach yourself to a continent where even if you got the chance to go and you went, most people that wouldn't even claim you as one of them, as a pure.
And we are not Africans. We are not African. Are you an African, baby? Huh?
Yeah. Conscious. Matic. Alright, so far where I come from. I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense, but nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So yeah, don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping, stacking them Franklins, them Grants, and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion, we probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all their stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah. Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering, I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true. How you feeling now? Even now my lowest, they tried to find a way to bring me down. Big y'all up for years, ain't talking just the brand or the sound. I don't throw things around, I do it from the heart proud. Mama just wanna see her sunshine, removing them dark clouds.
Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Hey y'all, smash that like button. So as you can see, you know, Negroes don't be looking at dates. You got to get the dates down pat. You got to fight with what you got. You got to fight with what this government has deemed as law. And that's one of the biggest problems, especially when you're doing research. For real, for real. Hey, y'all. Lawana, Big Dog, Enox, Purple Stoner, DJ GG. Hey now, Juice. What's up, y'all? Smash the like button. I'm taking medicine for my voice. It's not all the way right, but that's okay. They're not going to stop me. Not going to stop me. So, apparently, Jabaree is threatening to send the feds after me. So, My response to that shit is make sure, tell them to bring some damn hot sauce because I'm frying some chicken wings and fish. And we're going to eat, me and the FBI agents, he said to me. We're going to bring the goddamn hot sauce. You need the hot sauce. Tell them do not come here without the hot sauce. Facts. He's mad. Now, you got these HOK people saying that Cuba, Psycho, the chicks in the HOK community, people that identify as black and can't get that shit out. First of all, and they feel that I should not be filing no lawsuit. Why not? I'm going to tell you why. Since y'all slow, very slow, y'all need to take your little special hats off. For real. You messing with Jabaree, you might as well go out and buy one of them little helmets that snap over here to one side. Why am I filing a lawsuit? Let me tell you why again. Because, first of all, white men did not snatch my ancestors out of Africa and brought them here to be slaves for them. That's number one. That only happened to one specific group of people here in the mainland and the islands. You got the Indians, my brothers and sisters, that were enslaved and taken to the islands. And then you got the ones that was enslaved here on the mainland. We Negroes that never ran. Think for a minute, stupid. If they were to bring Africans here, and it's already Negroes here, copper-colored races here, the Aboriginals, the people of the soil, don't you think we would have all whooped their ass? Stupid. That wouldn't make no damn sense, would it? To bring more people that kind of look like us over here to be slaves, along with us being enslaved. Think about it, stupid. I'm getting tired of your dumbasses. You keep listening to Jabaree's agent ass. Picture. Y'all see the master, the white man, and the white lady at the top. Jabaree with your dumb ass. Picture these Negroes working on a farm in the South. And they two old asses is in the house. And these niggas out there picking corn. And them telling them they ain't going nowhere. What the hell you think gonna happen, Jabaree? I'm gonna let this shit sink in. These dudes got snatched from Africa and you put them down south to work on somebody's goddamn farmland. White people beating them with whips and chains. Picture that shit happening to them right now. You just picture that. Now, one of these Negroes ain't letting nobody hit them in the back with a whip, and they gonna live after that. The people that hit them. White people don't even like walking past them in the goddamn mall. In the mall. But see, Jabaree's one of them little scary brown dudes that can't fight. Turn the other cheek. Not these niggas right here. I don't think so. There's a difference between them and Jabaree. Jabaree, in the middle of a fucking war, will lay down and play dead. That's the type of nigga Jabaree is. He'll lay right down and play dead till the damn war is over with his little punk ass. So like I said, when you call the feds on me, make sure they bring some damn hot sauce for this fried chicken and fish. They don't make no sense. I know damn well didn't no white guys grab my family from Africa and bring them here on slave ships. None of my ancestry traces back to Africa. I'm all day Indian. I know I look North American Indian. Ain't no way I don't. No way I don't. I know I'm first to this soil. I straight up look North American Indian. And I'm standing on who I am, not who you want me to be. So your little history about the slave shit, boy, ain't going down in federal court. And if so, bring your ass to court. Let's go. We are at war. Me and the House of Conscience. And any motherfucker that's mad and got a problem with me bringing actions against R.40 Committee. Restitutions is what it's going to be. And Cory Booker, your ass need to come clean, Senator. Because you ain't no damn African American. Me and Obama ain't the same people. Let's just set the record straight. Me and Obama are not the same people. Our skin's brown, but we ain't the same people. Obama don't have ancestors that were brought to America. His goddamn family's still over in Kenya. I ain't got shit to do with that. So you're not going to make up my history because I'm not going for it. Wait till I serve your ass a summons, Jabaree, in your African American studies. Coming soon to you and the director of your program of African American Studies. Oh, you getting it? When I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And I will be bringing actions against your ass, Jabaree. I don't play. I don't play. You will be getting served for lying about my people's history. How the hell you think you're going to take Indians, Aboriginals, who were enslaved here and change their identity to African American? Martin Luther King ain't no goddamn African American. Neither is Malcolm X. They're not African Americans. Name one time Malcolm X and Martin Luther King identified themselves as African Americans. Name one time Dred Scott, since that's your favorite case. You're gonna learn who the fuck with at the law. Name one time Dred Scott, when he was traveling around, name one time that he identified as African American. Name it. Name it. I'll wait. Name one time in the Dred Scott case, the original decision from the Supreme Court. Name one time that the Supreme Court justices identified him as African American. Malcolm X did not say, I'm African American. Get the fuck out of here with that. Not a coincidence. Drop dead, nigga. That word wasn't even in existence when he was alive. Get your ass out of here. Prove it, not a coincidence, that Dred Scott's family came from Africa. Prove it. Prove that the judge said Dred Scott came from Africa. Prove it. Hey, A1. Show me the document that says Jesse Jackson was born an African American. Show me a document that says Muhammad Ali was born an African American. Show me a document rendered by the Supreme Court that says Dred Scott was an African American. Matter of fact, let's go there. This is not the original decision. It's not the original decision. Dred Scott versus Sanford, 1857. In this ruling, the U.S. Supreme Court stated that enslaved people were not citizens of the United States and therefore could not expect any protection from the federal government or the courts. Now, where is African at? Where is African? Because the goddamn Indians, all of them were enslaved. Let's go, boy. In 1846, an enslaved black man named Dred Scott and his wife, Harriet, were sued for their freedom in St. Louis Circuit Court. Enslaved black man. Where's African at? Where is African? Where's African? Transcript. African was not a free Negro of the African race whose ancestors. Now, let's go, buddy. Let's go. Because that's not the original court document. Get the court document. The original transcript, nigga. Let's go. Let's go. Get the original transcript. Don't play with me. Let's go. Wait a minute. This little nigga, because I'm going to get your ass. I got your ass. I got you, boy. Look. This page is constantly updated. Boy, you see this with the pen? May 10th, 2022. Boy, don't play with me. I told you this ain't the original transcript. I told you don't play with me. I am not to be played with. Don't play. Let me stop this here for a minute. Boy, I told you don't play with me. Like I said, get the original transcript. Go get it. Listen. Get the original transcript, boy. That was updated in 2022. Boy, bye. You go get it and bring it back. Go get it and bring it back. I'm not pulling up documents for you today. You bring it back. Untampered. Order it. The original transcript. That is not the original transcript. Get your ass out of here. Let's go. So now, of all this, the problem here in this case, here we go. Let's go all the way up. It's not the original transcript. You gotta order the original transcript. You gotta order it. Because this is actually the original transcript. Okay? You gotta get the original one. All right? It was in 1857. Now, here's what you need to know. In 1857, let me show you. Let me get the timeline up here. I assure you, in the original transcript, you will not see African. Right now. Now, 1857. And Malcolm X was a religious leader, not a congressman or court. Remember that. And neither was Martin Luther King. He was a religious leader. Now, in 1857, we as Aboriginals, Indians, to this soil, we were invaded back in 1493. That's when it started. This is why you see our ancestors as the Aboriginals, the American Indians, the Indian, not tax Indians, that you hear about in the Constitution. We were enslaved way back when the Spanish came here. That's why they call it the invasion. We've been enslaved. We got invaded back in the 1400s. Do you understand that? Give me a 1. That's why it's called Spanish invasion of North America. Give me a 1. I need you to know when you were invaded. It started back with the Spanish invasion. Good. And then after that, came Great Britain. Then the French. Understand, this is why you hear the word Negro, Negro. That comes from the Spanish when they got here. That's why you see Negro or Negro as we pronounce it in English. That's why you see it. Because the Spanish were here first after us when they got here. That's clear. Because like, why are we using the Spanish word as a race identity? Because the Spanish invasion took place first. And they classified us. They identified us to their physical, visual description of us as Negro, Negros, Negroes. That's where that comes from. That's where that comes from. And when the French came here, you know, our aircraft Confederacy was going in. I told you, Iroquois means black snakes. The French gave our ancestors, our people, that identity. Iroquois. They called us Iroquois. Black snakes. That's what that means in French. The black snakes. Now, let's go. Let's get back to the timeline. In the middle, you got the French and Indian War going on in the goddamn 1700s. At the same time, all this war shit is going on. In 1700s. Okay? You got the French, you got the Great Britain when they came here to the Americas in the 1600s. Came here in the 1600s.
I'm running slow because I'm running like this. So you run fast on my street? You gotta run straight. That's what they're thinking of. Run straight. I run fast.
And amen.
It's stupid.
Now, when you have the where is it? At the same time, in that timeline, you got black governors in Mass and in Connecticut. In the middle of the goddamn Revolutionary War and in the French and Indian War. And Great Britain. So we got black governors, hello, running around here in the North. Who you think they was fighting? It's crazy. It makes no sense that these Negroes, they don't speak no other language but Indian languages. Make this make sense. Why are the Negroes speaking only Indian languages? Why is that? I'll tell you. And then the funny shit that they write about Frederick Douglass. Come on, y'all. During Frederick Douglass' time, you got to stop letting individual people feed you with shit. Because none of this shit, none of it, give me that original court case. I want you to get it. Because, see, I have it. And I have the original transcript. Bring what you got. And I guarantee you, the original transcript mentions nothing of Dred Scott being an African slave. Why are who do you think that the Constitution? Let's look at some other stuff. Let's look at some other stuff. Because these dudes need a slow bus. Y'all really do. Let's see here. Let's go back. Let's do a share screen. These little slow bus people. I can't deal with y'all slow bus people. These are blacks, brown-skinned men in Congress from 1870 to 1898. 22 black men were elected to the U.S. Congress, 2 in the Senate and 20 in the House of Representatives. Let's go. Hiram Rhodes, Rebels, Blanche Bruce, Joe Rainey, Jefferson Long, Benjamin Turner. Hey, throw up some fire for these damn people in the worst time in the world, Reconstruction time. Josiah Walls, Robert Carlos DeLarge, Robert Elliott, Alonzo Renzier, James Rapier, Richard Kane, John Lynch, Charles Nash, Jeremiah Harrelson, John Hyman, Robert Smalls, James O'Hara, Henry Cheatham, John Langston, Thomas Miller, George Murray, George White. Now, look at the years that these brothers was in Congress, 1870 to 1898. Now let me just stop. 1870 to 1898. Right? That was during Reconstruction. So you're telling me that Africans jumped up and became senators in Congress. Prior to that, prior to the Reconstruction, we wasn't part of this. We were on our own farmlands, enslaved, and the whole nine. You see the census sheets. We were part of this corporation, this system. None of those dudes sitting on Congress ancestors were brought on slave ships. You idiots. (1782), when there was governors down this end that were black men. Why is it so hard for you to understand that these invaders took the Indian that had more white features, that claimed to have a remote degree of blood? Remote degree. Let's go there. Under the laws of the 5 tribes. A person white in color and features is frequently an Indian. By remote degree of blood. People that got white features. Because they got 1 drop of blood. Remote degree of blood of Indian. So they have more of their European features. That's what all the 5 tribes came. That's what they say. The one that look more white is the Indian. Gonna be Indian. That's the tribal law by blood. But now check this out. No blood quantum is needed for the Negro because by tribal law and custom, they are the Indian. That's the law. No blood quantum is needed for the Negroes because they're the Indian. They're not by remote degree of blood because they are the blood. And that's the blood you need. No blood quantum is needed for the Negro because the Negro is the Indian. And we didn't speak nothing but Indian languages. That's all we spoke. Why didn't the census taker take the white Indians around with him to try and converse with the other Indians in the same damn territory? Why didn't they? Why? The Negroes, we didn't speak nothing but Indian languages. We didn't need no damn blood quantum. Because we're that blood that enable you to be an Indian. You had a baby by an Indian, a Negro. If you had a baby by a Negro, that's Indian blood going in your baby. And because of the racist government, they only wanted to deal with the white-looking ones, not the brown ones. The ones that is the blood. What the hell? Negroes just walking around, just speaking Indian languages, nothing else. You can't come from out of that or come after it. Tell me, Shay Shun, tell me not a coincidence. How come the Negroes only spoke Indian languages? Why couldn't they speak another damn language? Why is it the law that the Indian is the Negro? Why is the Indian, the Negro, only speaks in nothing but Indian languages? Why is that, Shay? How come the Negro didn't need blood? How come the Negro wasn't related to Indian by a remote degree of blood? Because the law says he's the Indian. You can't come off of that. What's your response, Negro? Come up with it, boy. The white guy got to drop an Indian ding ding or coochie and became the Indian. That's how you got it. That's all you can do is let me cook, boy. Why the Negro, which the Spanish invaders gave us that identity, only speak none but Indian languages? Because this our land and our language, only a foreigner wouldn't understand us. Facts. Why? How come Jabaree, Psycho, Q Butter, why the Negroes only speak not by Indian language? Nothing else but just Indian languages. Why did the census taker didn't take the white Indians around with him to speak to the other Indians in the same locality? Why? Why he needed the niggas to go with him? You better answer that, Mr. Cory Booker, with your Lenape ass, Shinnecock ass. Tell me why. Isness. I'm going to put the link in the chat because you have a nice, clear speaking voice. And I want to ask you a question. I really want to ask you a question. I'm going to drop the link for you. I got a question to ask you with this document. When the feds come, they're going to be speaking Indian languages when they leave this bitch, Jabaree. After they get that fried chicken with hot sauce. Hang on, let me put my headphones on. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Sister Bethy.
Should I come on? So hey, yeah.
Right.
You're looking
And that
like
ain't
that
even our
Indian.
shit. What I want to know, and you know what? Ali Bamu, give me a minute, because then I want to go into that Lieber thing after this. But I want a dialogue with Isness about these Negroes, because I showed them about the invasion right there when they came here and saw us. They said Negroes because of our skin. Britain don't speak that language. The French don't speak that language. The only way Negro word got here is because of the Spanish. That's who they saw. So that's where Negro comes from, Negro. And it's pronounced Negro. Now, isness. Let me move this banner off here for a minute. All right. I'm going to ask simple questions. The citizens, now these are citizens, like we're citizens of the United States because we had our own governments back then. The citizens, not the Indians, the citizens. Oh shit, she fell off. All right. The citizens of the 5 tribes watched with a jealous eye each movement of the United States or its agents. A serious difficulty was met in the answer to "Are you an Indian?" Now, I don't know what happened to isness, but under the laws of the 5 tribes, a person white in color and features is frequently an Indian by remote degree of blood or adoption. So they could adopt them, or they was related to somebody. What does remote degree of blood mean? This is way before Walter Plecker. What does remote degree of blood mean? Please explain that. In your opinion, Ali Bamu, because she fell off. I don't know what happened. Ali Bamu, your mic is muted if you're talking. Oh, there she goes. Yeah.
Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Trying to avoid the hunky hole with StreamYard. But when you say remote degree of blood, why is the issue of blood quantum never addressed with the original 5 civilized tribes? I saw a TikTok Indian that is Native American. I'm sorry, TikTok Native American. Now pronounced the Federal Bureau of Indian Affairs recognizes 574 thereabouts currently. Is that your understanding, Queen Mother?
Yes.
Remote degree of blood is nigga in the woodpile. Is the 1 drop rule. Isn't that still on the books in Louisiana?
Well, this is way before Walter Plecker's policy.
No, I got you on that. I'm talking about the concept in and of itself.
Yes,
remote degree of blood means reaching back a whole long way, reaching back, right?
There you go.
But that's what they then changed into the 1 drop rule, or what they colloquially refer to as the nigger in the woodpile.
Correct.
Now, we're supposed to be convinced that 1 nigger, how many generations back, and great grandparents, makes a white pale skin or a Mongoloid hybrid an American Indian, whereas 1 African makes the Indian an African. That's the concept of the nigger in the woodpile. You follow what I'm saying?
I get you. All right. Isness, what say you of what remote degree of blood? Matter of fact, let me just do this.
I missed everything that she said. I was having a hard time. I was having technical difficulties.
Okay, hang on. Hang on 1 second. All right. I'll use the 8 journey distant. All right, let me take this down for 1 second. All right, what I said is this. Hopefully y'all don't have technical difficulties. Okay. Under the laws of the 5 tribes, a person white in color and features is frequently an Indian by remote degree of blood or by adoption. We already know what adoption means. So let me take that down for a second. So these fools, remote, distant, and place not near as a remote country, a remote people. Distant in time, past or future. Distant, not immediate. Distant, primary, not proximate. As the remote causes of disease. Alien, foreign, not agreeing with as a proposition, remote from reason. Abstracted. Distant. And consanguinity or affinity as a remote kinsman. So we know that people with white features, let me get it back up, by the tribe laws, people with white color and features is frequently an Indian by remote degree of blood or by adoption. Just let them in. Adopted them on in. Now, Negroes are frequently met. Now, when you hear frequently, that means when you're walking up in their territory, you're always going to see Negroes. That's what frequently means. Do you agree, Isness? Do you agree, Ali Buma?
I agree.
Negroes are frequently met who speak nothing but Indian languages. Now, nothing means nothing else. That's all they speak. That's their languages. Do you agree?
That means nothing. 0.
All right. And are Indians by tribal law and custom. Now, tribal law that's the law. It's clearly defined by law who the Indian is. That's the Negro. White people are only Indians by remote degree of blood. Somebody back. But Negroes, it's the law. That's it. They're the Indian. And they don't speak nothing but Indian languages. Can I get fired if you clearly understand who the Indians are according to the law of the federally recognized tribes?
Wow. So these people with the drop of blood are now known to be the Indians, or what we think are the Indians.
Correct. And they happen to be in control of letting them in and out. And they always deny them. Still using that Spanish word, Negro, Negro. The Negro is the Indian.
If you look at the documents when people were coming here, they were telling you those Negro, the dark-skinned people that they encountered were us. They explained it was us. They didn't say it was the person with the drop of blood, the white features. They didn't describe white features.
Correct. But they made it a law. Okay, your dad or your grandma was an Indian and she had you, you know, you got a mixed family, mulattoes. So you're Indian. And there are a lot of white people that do have white grannies and a white grandpa, or they have a Negro granny,
right,
or a Negro great granny. That's true. Depending on when they came, that's a fact. You can't deny it. And another thing you can't get mad at is if that person with white features that's really found out that they got a great granny that's a Negro. You can't get mad at them if they wish to choose to be who their great grannies was. Some of them are disgusted by what these invaders did. And they say, I'm Indian. That's true. To their hearts, a lot of them are. Just like you got Negroes that cater more to their European side. We got a lot of them running around here. My complexion. Swear up and down they white folks. You see him, you got Jabaree. Look how he talk. He talk like white people. You have people, and you've got friends that you grew up with and people that you grew up with that prefer to act like white people. Do we not have that in our communities, y'all? Yes or no?
We do.
That prefer to act like mainstream white society. Look, the same shit on the other foot. You got whites that much rather be like their family that they love.
Are you talking about Eminem?
There you go. They much rather. They find out they got a granny. They want to be with their people. They're not disbanding anybody from their tree. They don't give a fuck. And that's true to the heart. You have a lot of white people like that. They're like, fuck that. That's my grandmother. That's my blood. Fuck you. And they look like Bush. And that's a fact. I grew up around them.
But can I circle back to the remote blood and the portion that you have in that? Now, I don't know why it is we keep going in circles with these people who are dense or dim-witted or actually,
I'm doing this not.
No, I know you're doing it for educating, and thank you for doing
I'm
it for
actually
educating.
doing it because Jabaree is sending the feds here, and I said, tell the motherfuckers to bring some hot sauce when they come. Because I'm frying
wow.
I'm frying some chicken. I'm frying some chicken and fish, and me and the federal agents is gonna sit at the table and eat that shit. But go ahead, Ali Bamu. Hey, True.
111 True Searcher, my
Hey, sister.
brother from another
Hey,
mother.
what's up, y'all? That's crazy. Jabaree said he gonna call the feds on you, sister Betty.
Yeah, that's where I
Well,
was trying to take the conversation earlier with A1. But now that I'm here by the person who's been targeted, and I don't know that I should be apologizing for the erratic, ignorant, and despicable behavior of another
No,
person.
not
I
at
use that
all.
word loosely. But when the issue of manhood is a question here, True, A man that goes after a woman, I think, needs to be taken to the woodshed. I mean, that's just me. That's just
But Sister
my
Betty,
personal opinion. But
Huh?
when this happened, when he say
you
that?
haven't seen the video running truth about the egregious errors of the Aborigines? He lumped her, Bap, and
Yeah,
Ali
I seen
Muhammad.
that, but I didn't watch it though. But he said he was gonna
That's
call her.
where it is, bro.
Hold,
He put this innuendo out there with Sonetta, his goddamn circle jerk, co-conspirator. That don't be surprised if charges are brought. I'm paraphrasing now because I don't
hold
want to
on
get
one
into the
hold on 1 second, Alabama. I apologize. Sister Betty, he said that he was sending the feds to you.
Send him. I want to eat chicken with him. We probably watch a movie together.
No, I want to be more accurate with this 111 because I did see what came out of his mouth. He insinuated, this is how slick spy, co-conspirator, collaborator motherfuckers do. He insinuated through Sonetta, and that's why I'm gonna put him on the fire with him, to not be surprised. I'm paraphrasing, true. To not be surprised if charges be brought up on individuals charging membership to their tribes or some words to those effect. Okay, but you can take it how you want to take
I mean, at the end of the day, that's a personal choice. You feel me? And it's not like it's a charge. It's something that's benefiting the whole party. So I already know what's going on with that. So he need to chill the fuck out. Hey, Sister Betty, but I put you something in the back.
Hey.
I put you
Oh,
some. I put you some in the back. You see what you got on your screen right there?
uh-huh.
That's the one that it come up out of.
it. Now, let me give you the other layer of the innuendo, true. The innuendo of identifying this way, he tried to imply it would fall under the category as black identity extremism or some terroristic group, so to speak. You feel me? But this cast and aspersion shit is what needs to be checked. You
First of
feel
all,
me?
Indians, we're not black, so that disqualifies everybody.
I got it open too.
Yeah, I wanted you to have it because I seen you pulled it up, and
Yeah.
I that's the actual census that statement is coming up out of, and it's a
What
lot.
page?
It's a lot more to. Hold on 1 second. Let me double check real quick because it's been a minute since I went over it.
Yeah,
Hold on.
find the page and I'll go right to it.
But why is he talking about sending the feds to, BAP or Sister Bethy? He wasn't talking about sending the feds to
No,
White
this is
Water. What are
sneak
different
dissing,
people?
isness. This is sneak dissing, as Cuddy likes to say. Okay. So he did this disparaging video trying to defame Ali Muhammad, Sister Bethy, and BAP as this preeminent fight stir up bullshit for the debate later in October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the sly shit that he does. He tries to cast aspersions on people's character.
No. He's
That's what he's
talking
famous
because
for.
I've been seeing this, and that's the reason why I'm like, be careful with all the fighting on YouTube and stuff, because they really are trying to qualify this group as these this people as a was it BIE?
Yeah,
They're really trying it.
a terrorist group. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
This is
but
not
Mm-hmm.
something to play with.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that because I work with this government. So they know I'm not a terrorist. That's not me. That's not my character. It's never been my life. Ever. And it won't be. So he can do what the hell he wants. Like I said, when you send the feds to me, tell them to bring the motherfucking hot sauce and get the Texas Pete one. I'm not worried. I've been in this government and I'm still in it.
And we're in your corner, sister. I'm not saying I didn't bring this up at all to warn you or to concern you. I was saying it for the point of truth or isness or anyone else who either saw it like it's in rotation in YouTube and going and putting this stuff for clicks and likes because isness, they're desperate. They're on their deathbed. And this community is where they're seeking lifelines. You feel me?
Yep.
Yeah. So they're trying to scare people because it makes sense. Everything that everyone is saying makes complete sense. It makes sense.
I'm not
So
worried.
they're trying to scare the last remnants of their movement. They're trying to scare those people.
Look here. You Google me. This is my current governor. That to me and the former governor, may she rest in peace. Right there. So I'm not worried. And I really think that the FBI, CIA, Secret Society done already fucking looked me up. So you're going to find me in the governor's office. That's my former boss. She passed away like last year before. So you do what you got to do, bro. Do what you got
But
to
you
do.
know, I might have digressed on bringing that up, but I just wanted to express my sentiment, and you know, I got your back. I'm in your corner. But what I'm saying about this remote blood stuff, I know this preceding Walter Ashby Plecker, but it gave the grounds for them to claim the Pocahontas myth, to claim they want to establish an identity attached to us and steal our identity. Period.
Correct. Well, that's clear. That's obvious.
Not to these dim-witted folks. Then they go and have the nerve to claim the Native American is authentic, and we got to prove we are who we are. You see now, that's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
My thing is
And then
this.
that person can have that drop. And I think this is what you were saying earlier, Sister Bethy, is that this person could have that one little drop, and that person is a Native American or an Indian. And then here we are, we're saying that we're Indian, and it can never be proven. Ever. Even if we were mixed in.
Oh, it could be proven.
Well,
It could be
that's
proven.
what they're saying. They're
Who's
saying
saying that?
that
Who?
the people who feel that we are not, we're stealing someone else's culture, right?
Well, they better look at some primary sources, because they're gonna be in trouble.
But they're also trying to claim that we're African descendants without proof. There's no proof of that.
Well, you know what? The government that was over us prior to the United States, prior to us being part of the United States, the government that we were under, clarified who we are. The government we were under before we became part of the United States. Do you see the United States up there at the top? It didn't say the citizens of the United
it's the
States.
census. Yeah. This particular census that you're working with.
The citizens of the five tribes.
Of the tribe. That's what I was going to. So this was their census they were taking amongst the 5 civilized tribes.
Correct. And that's what we were under. We were not part of the United States.
But again, even internal to the 5 civilized tribes, you said they referenced themselves as Negro. Correct. And the enumerators taking the census acknowledged white pale-skinned people as assimilated in the Negro existence of the tribal government and customs.
Well, no, not necessarily, because the tribal law said it. These are white people. These are people with white features and white skin. Okay. They are in the tribes. They look more like the European side. And the tribe says it's the law that they're the Indian by remote degree of blood.
And adoption, which we think to be marriage.
And adoption.
Typically. So, again, authorized within the tribal law. I think that's what the right isness. Now you get what I'm saying. This is not Uncle Sam dictating a policy and sending marshals or enumerators. This is them enumerating themselves. You get that now, isness?
Correct. It's two different people talking.
And again, this is the quote unquote civilized tribe. What about the uncivilized tribes who were predominantly Negro?
Correct. And they're the ones who are in the South on their own land, was not part of nothing. They were part of other tribes.
This document, and the same thing that Truth, I guess, is sending you. What's the date on this? What time is this?
This is 18. I got the whole newspaper. I have to pull it up. I don't feel like going to get it, but it was in the 1800s. That particular document was in the 18. I want to
So we
say,
can say this has got to be post Indian Removal Act, sometime
yeah,
around Civil War time,
around
maybe in
Reconstruction.
Reconstruction. Okay.
Reconstruction time, correct. Because a lot of us did not go during Reconstruction, yes. But truth, you have it up, sweetheart.
I sense all
Nah,
of
I'm going through it because it's it's a lot, but this definitely the
What
census right here where
what
you
part?
got that article from.
Right. No, the article came from the newspaper.
No, but that article from the newspaper actually came up out of an actual census,
Correct.
and,
What
and that's what I'm going through right now.
what are you looking for on it? The
No,
census or
yeah, the exact quote that you got from that newspaper article.
oh, okay. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm going through it right now to find out what page it is.
But here's the other thing, and this is what I know we shouldn't be having this confusion, but just for clarity of the conversation. We constantly are having to prove to people who shouldn't be in the mix amongst us who we are and what we're about and get out of my damn business. What am I missing something here? And we're allowing people who are under a government criminal enterprise because all the things that are operating in the United States of America are based on fraud. Everything. I would even argue to a degree the United States
Oh yeah, I
Constitution,
got it.
but
I got it,
certainly,
true. Oh, I'm sorry,
no,
sweetheart. Go
that's
ahead.
okay, Queen Mother, because remember, the Constitution they're referencing is 1871, and that's the corporate Constitution they reconstituted to bring these absquatulating crackers over here. Did you know that, Isness?
Okay. Here we go. Oops. I want to get that. Close that out.
So when
All right.
we're referencing the Constitution, I know we've gone over this before, and I wanted to, when you want to, maybe bring the post-millennium text back we talked about in our last conversation. When we're referencing constitutional edicts, it is under the 1871 corporate constitution after the Civil War that then put in all of the corporate entities that are registered in the state of Delaware today. The organic constitution from 1787 until 1871 is what people don't know is different and a different governing period that happened. Just like the ones that you showed, those elected officials in Reconstruction. The government was operating in a different fashion from colonial America to the Civil War and Reconstruction.
Okay, so to put the authenticity and the primary source information, and thank you, Truth. I got it, sweetheart. I found it. Right here, it's on page 7. Um, could you read that? You feel like reading that for me, Alibama? As you can see,
Can you zoom in the screen there? Because
yeah, I'm
I'm
gonna
on my
make it
phone.
bigger.
It's just
This is the
small.
1890, the 5 civilized tribes, the census of the 1890. Okay, and
So
we'll go
hold
down.
on. Scroll back up to where it said the census of 1890.
Right, the census
Right
of
there.
1890. All right, I'm gonna go down to where I got the statistics.
Statistics
Go to
of
page.
Indians, the next page
No,
that
no,
you were
no,
coming on.
no. Let me get it. Here it is, right here. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger if I can.
That's where it's saying, "Are you Indian?" with the question mark, right?
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
quotations there. That was
All
the
right.
section that you took this out of.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
And
a serious difficulty. And again, this is on page 7 or 8. You said.
yes, let me
So the
see.
citizens of the 5 tribes watched with a jealous eye. Oh, you went small on it again.
Is that too small?
Yeah, if you could zoom it out, zoom it
I'm
as
trying to make it a little
large as you
bit bigger,
can.
but
Yeah.
I can't make it bigger. I'll try. There. That's as
That
big
yeah,
as.
that'll do it.
But then you can't see
This
what's on the end.
I'm kind of scrolling with my finger on the page.
Okay.
The citizens of the five tribes watch with a jealous eye each movement of the United States or its agents. Question of vast moment are pending. Questions of vast moment are pending. Now, again, remember though, they are kind of interacting. It says, okay, I do see what you mean. We're cut off there after its agent. So
All
that
right.
part of the that part of it is.
Let me do this. Okay. A serious difficulty was met in the answer to "Are you an Indian?" Under the laws of the five tribes or nations of the Indian Territory, a person white in color and features is frequently an Indian, being so by remote degree of blood or by adoption. There are many whites now resident claiming to be Indians whose claims have not as yet been acted on by the nations. Negroes are frequently met who speak nothing but Indian languages and are Indians by tribal law and custom. And others are met who call themselves Indians who have not yet been so acknowledged by the tribes. The circumstances necessarily produce some confusion as to the number of Indians separately designated. However, the total population as given is correct. The difficulties surrounding the taking of this census were augmented by the fact that in enrolling the Indians, it frequently occurred that it was necessary to equip two and sometimes three interpreters to accompany the enumerator to converse with Indians in the same locality. The residents of the five tribes, citizens or otherwise, pay no taxes on real or personal property, and there are no assessments for this purpose. I'm done.
Now, one other thing, though,
And the
before you go,
crazy
I'll just reiterate at the top. This is the federal census, and they are interacting with enumerators. But go ahead, True. Go ahead.
Yeah, the crazy part about it is that who was the interpreters that they used? You feel me? Was what was being really
The
said
Negro.
being really related? And on top of that, like right above that part about the whites who are mad are usually Indian by blood or adoption. Right above that, they speak about how they was shipping them out there in boatloads by the trains and how they was warm with these poor white motherfuckers and shit. You feel me? So like Tulsa was nothing but uh a capture moment of something that's been going on longer than the Tulsa riots even fucking happened and shit. So yeah.
I this, when you got the law of a government, you ain't got to be worrying about Jabaree and them asses. They ain't got to prove. It's not our burden to prove. We already got the proof. We have the primary sources. We have the government telling you who the Indian is. So you ain't got to worry about Jabaree. So when the feds come, like I said, bring the hot sauce, bruh. Maybe you should jump up here, Jabaree, Sinetta, Q Butter.
No,
With a
Sinetta and Q bumping heads right now.
I know, I saw
Yeah,
that.
that they all in disarray, True. But look, can we address something here for a moment, True? Because this is this type of black crap that goes on from ignorant folk. For example, when they wanted to use this argument of the so-called black members of these tribes being kicked out, okay? What's your take on that, Truth, before I put my spin on it?
Well, a lot of them wasn't kicked out. Oh, but go ahead, Truth. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Truth.
Oh no, it's fine. I mean, you gotta remember more of us stayed than actually went. So that's one when we start talking about numbers and population. The second thing is why I brought that up is a lot of times they wasn't using one of our people to translate with our people and shit that didn't know how to speak English. They was only speaking their custom language, and it is a form of English, but they couldn't understand it. They was using these anchor baby ass niggas that they was calling Indians. So a lot of times the message wasn't even being relayed properly and shit like that. And
So
that was a
when
big
they're
issue
calling these
that
people
the census that was a big issue that the census taker had too, as far as that go, because they didn't know how true was it relayed to, but they still had to write it down because that's all that they can go off of.
just like the mythology some have said about when they came upon the different tribes and they asked, well, who are those people over there? It depended if they were friend or foe, what type of word or title they gave that other group of people, right? Whether they were alliance, whether they were at war, whether they were extended family members, meaning they were actual, blood relations. All these things get mixed up in translation, don't they?
Yeah, and they was also in that sense that they was speaking about the Yamasee as well too, which they spelled the Yamasee with the Y, but also with a J. And they was speaking about these dark complected Negroes being here before any European came, and they was assuming that they came from Africa
Or
prior to the
Ethiopia, as they would
European.
say.
Prior to the European and shit. Like that's in that census right there that I just gave to Sister Bethy. But those was all assumptions that they was making to try to take away, you know, the dark skinned
And these
motherfuckers away
assumptions,
from the land and shit like that
and,
because they was
and
the fiercest warriors that they ever had to deal with.
and that's what
But
they
that's
call the
also up in
Seminole
there
Wars
too.
based on, right?
Yeah.
So
And
what?
now people are
And they
calling
and
them the American Maroons,
and they
right?
also speak on the fact on that's why the slave raids in America was so fierce, especially down in those areas, and how they also got other tribes to assist in it with the ones that they was in tour with. So a lot of this demise and downfall came from a lot of infighting that they took advantage of. All that shit right there in that census, you just gotta read it.
Look here,
Yeah,
y'all.
say that again,
Um,
brother, about you got to do what? And what do they
under,
hide from niggas in a book?
okay.
Isn't that what they say?
So when we get right here to this part, the difficulties surrounding the taking of this census were augmented by the fact that enrolling the Indians, it frequently occurred that it was necessary to equip two and sometimes three interpreters to accompany the enumerator to converse with Indians in the same locality. All right. So you got to under one thing you got to understand first. The government gave the Indians um, funds when they, took the census, like the same thing they do with the 50 states. And they had to report to the government of the
Which was the
Indians
head count.
that were, they had to report the Indians that were on the reservations, including the ones that was off for a short period of time. But then the census, the commissioner of the census gave an order and said, look, you're not going to be counting Indians that are on the reservation and off. And then we turn around and they're in a state and we're counting them in some other household. So then he changed it to only the Indians that are on there, that are listed. So,
But
and
here's the point that I'm trying to underscore, bringing this up, Queen Mother. The implication of people with either absolute ignorant behavior or paid agent and nefarious intentions. They are presuming the mixed breed, whether the mongoloid hybrid or the pale skin, was the legitimate one, and the dark skinned ones, illegitimate, were presumed African slaves. Now, you see what I'm saying? When they
Yeah.
keep using this nonsense of being kicked out the tribe, they're alluding to or trying to infer by nefarious intention, I might,
This
that
how
you
deep.
must be a
at this
slave
point,
if you're dark skinned. But go
uh,
ahead. Go ahead.
but what you got to understand, those uh, mongoloid looking people were not in these areas. It was just white people
And
and
niggas.
Negroes. That's it. None of them were around.
And
None of they
to even
like.
my bad, Sister Beth. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, baby, and I'll go next.
No, go ahead. I can remember what I was trying to say. I don't want you to forget your train of thought.
No. I'm not. Go ahead. Go ahead, honey.
Just like when we talk about, and this was another thing that stuck out to me in the census, because I'm always hearing Rob Bourne, fake story, and his his homie True Story. I call him fake story, and Seneb, all them niggas always talking about the Methodist Church. The Methodist Church. Now the Methodist Church is known to belong to primarily the niggas, but created by with the help of white folks, right? Am I wrong on that?
No.
All right, so when you go to page 19 and a little bit before that, you start getting into all of these tribes that was part of the Methodist Church. All these different Methodist church. Now I thought that was some nigga shit and some white folk shit.
See?
We start getting into that. That's on page 19. That was like this shit right here go in depth if you can read it and put proper logic into understanding what you read and shit.
Correct.
That's all I wanted to say.
Thanks.
But they're implying, and I know I'm just not to beat a dead horse, true. They're implying that all this negotiated area, which again, we're only talking Oklahoma territory, which would then become a state not until 1907. So this is in between the end of Reconstruction and the turn of the century, right, Queen Mother? Because this specific sentence was 1890.
Oklahoma. It's not just Oklahoma.
No. Hold on. I'm saying, but this particular census that you're dealing with was dealing with the quote unquote 5 civilized tribes. And
Correct.
The 5 civilized tribes were organized in Oklahoma territory, which hasn't come to statehood yet till 1907. You see what I'm saying now?
I see what you're saying, but they were not just there because the Cherokee fought. That's why they had Tennessee.
No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, Queen Mother. I want to stay on the point just for a moment, just for focus.
I want to stay on the point too. You're going off of the point. Cherokee Nation is not fought. They had more locations. That's why they had Tennessee. Remember, I did the OG.
I'm not disagreeing with that, Queen.
But it go deeper than that because
the points that these people bring up, and they're conflating two things. I
don't care about the people.
No, I was just saying for clarity for what we're discussing. These people conflate Plains Indians and Mongoloid representations from Hollywood as the quote unquote legitimate individuals. Okay, so when they claim they're kicking out dark Negro complexion people, they then make the presumption they were African slaves or the descendants of Africa.
Well, they didn't talk about kicking them out in that. They were just speaking on the fact that these niggas was here before any one of them came, and they was trying to make assumptions about where their origins was from. But we got to understand that location where they talking about from the Virginias all the way down to Florida. That's a large chunk area. It's like they try to speak on this shit as is in one location, but no, we're talking about from Virginia down to Florida, from the coast all the way into mid Tennessee, all the way on the borders of what is Georgia and Alabama now. That's a large chunk of the South. That's like half of the South. That's the eastern half of the Southeast. Correct. So that's half of what we consist of the Southeast of America. But if you go to page 33, Sister Bethy.
I will after I finish this.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
I don't want to throw the audience off. Fuck the Mongoloids right now. We're talking about Negroes and white people in the census districts. Like I told you, in the Cherokee Nation were the following 9 districts: Canadian, Kawasaki, Delaware, Flint, Going Snake, Illinois, Saline, Sequoia, and Tahlequah. In the Chickasaw Nation were 4 counties: Panola, divided into 2 districts for census purposes; Pickens, divided into 8 districts for census purposes; Potomac, divided into 3 districts for census purposes; and Toshomi, divided into 2 districts for census purposes. And then you got the Choctaw Nation. All these goddamn counties in the nation. The 3 judicial districts were for census purposes. First judicial district, Gaines County, St. Bois County, Scullyville County, Sugarloaf County, Tobuscue County. Second judicial District, Apashambi County, Bokotoco County, Eagle County, Red River County, Wade County, Wolf County, 3rd Judicial District, all these districts. This is why I told you.
You're gonna have a field day with that census,
Yes,
Sister Betty, because it's
I
so much.
have this, but I just snapped it out the newspaper.
You know what's crazy about that census is now you start seeing how a lot of the tribe, you know how they only talk about these certain selected tribes, but all these tribes that's allegedly lost, they also speak in depth of how they got absorbed into shit. That's why you have shit like Northern Cherokee, Southern Cherokee, Western Cherokee, Eastern
Right.
Cherokee, because like I say, like, you know, this, I really don't speak on my family shit too tough because niggas be doing weird shit on here, and I would never ever want to jeopardize what they got going on. But like, we got land in Michigan, and it got the stamp seal of the Cherokee Nation, but that side of my family was Chippewa.
See?
And it speaks in there how this section of Chippewa, Alani, Black Hawk, Kishwaukee, and et cetera, and et cetera, and et cetera, got absorbed into these 5 tribes that they could. That's why I always tell people that shit modern. Like, you want to use it to get some clarity of what you're speaking on. I understand, but you gotta also understand, like, Cherokee, Choctaw, all that shit is modern names and shit.
Right.
You feel me?
Right. I agree. They gave it those names.
And it's not wrong with using them. You feel me? Because we got to get some clarity what we talking about. Because then if we get to just go into what they originally was, that's gonna leave people lost. Then you're gonna end up having to speak on that shit anyway. But it's about walking them down in it and everything and shit, you know. And I'm like I say, you gonna have a field day with that because it's so much. You can see where the misdirection and shit like that happened. Like I say, if you look on page 33.
Mm-hmm.
And they get to speaking about the Yamasee.
Yeah.
Oh man, that shit go crazy.
I do.
And yeah, because again, what my point was, just to make certain, this was contextually the entire 1890 census.
Yeah.
So we're heading into the last decade of the 19th century.
Well, Shay Sean, my son, Chippewa is not in the Southeast. That's the Midwest. That's the Ohio Valley region. So what are you talking about? I spoke about the Chippewa, Michigan. That's not Southeast. That's the Midwest. The Ohio. It used to be called the Ohio Valley region.
Ignorant people keep repeating. Yeah, ignorant people keep repeating ignorance.
When we show them primary sources, it hurts. It hurts people that's claiming to be African. It hurts them because they don't have primary sources.
And then they wanted the nerve to dismiss you because you use a newspaper reporting of a factual document of a federal event that was being done in cooperation with tribal governments. Go ahead, Truth.
So let me show y'all. Can y'all hear me still?
Yeah.
Y'all can still hear me. So I'm gonna show you how tribes get lost in time, right? Creeks in South Carolina, right? Harry Hammond and work with South Carolina already cited page 366 speak on the creeks as following. Nation, Creek or Muskogee, tribes, Savannah, Saruna, Kusabo, Yamasee, Huspa, Kasha. You feel me? And then they call them fragment tribes of the Savannah River south of the Yuchi and Barrow County. They all got absorbed into the creek, even though the creeks is not even from South Carolina. You feel me? The Yamasee numbered about 100 men and women and children in the Pusago in 1715 and were driven across the Savannah by Governor Craven. 20 men of the tribe were left at St. Augustine, Florida. Now, how the fuck did we go from South Carolina to Florida if they were so small? You feel me? They were absorbed by the Seminoles. So now they're the Seminoles. Now I go to the Yamasee or the Yamasee with a J were one of a small number of isolated tribe. Now, how was these people isolated when you just gave us basically from South Carolina to Florida? Where the fuck
just
is
the
that?
geographic expanding?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, bro. You know,
A dark complexion, found widely scattered amongst the inhabitants of North and South America.
Now you're still reading from the census document, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So for these source up or shut up numbnuts in the chat or in the House of Consciousness.
Hold on, but it go deeper than that.
Go ahead, cook,
If
bro. Cook.
if this be so, it explains why Dylon persisted in slave hunting about Beaufort, 1520s. These Negroes being valuable.
That's Beaufort, South Carolina, right? Beaufort County,
Beaufort.
South
Yeah.
Carolina. Okay,
Yep.
good.
Yeah. These Negroes being valuable as laborers. If we're strange too, if Negroes first occupied this section where they now predominate. They dominate this section.
Now, this was referencing before 1715, even though this is an 1890 document. Right?
So this is why I be saying you gotta really pay attention to what they're doing. They do a lot of word jargon to just saying what they saying. We went from 1715 to 1743 to 1520.
See,
that's almost 200 years of niggas are like
occupying that land
under their understanding.
Right.
And no way, in no form or fashion, can you show evidence of transported there from Africa or nowhere else.
And that's what I'm talking about. The federal papers. Never said the Negroes, oh, we got some Negroes in here from Africa. Because
and we haven't even gotten to the war documents, Queen Mother.
I know.
I mean, yeah, okay, all right. Just for clarity and the people on the short bus. These are aliens identifying our ancestors, just as Noah Webster defined, encountered by these people, the copper-colored plural races, meaning multiple nations, thousands of them. From sea to shining sea. I mean, I don't know. I'll step down off the witness stand.
Oh no, keep cooking. What you say? What say you, Isness?
No, I'm just learning. This is the first time I saw this, so this is really interesting. But
Really?
I do want to point out, yes, but I do want to point out when you do see Africa in these documents, is that they're just trying to describe to their reader a similarity of a type of person that they're trying to describe a certain type of person. So when they come here and they call this person an African or something like that, it's only because they're describing you to a person who is used to a black person in Africa. And so that's all.
But do you know that they were not referred to, and only Ethiopian or Abyssinia was the reference in the 16 and 1700s.
Now I've seen that.
So
before.
there is no
It's
African.
Ethiopia. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying, though?
Yes. Yes.
So anytime that word is used, they're whitewashing the story and writing backwards into time.
So let me show y'all something else real quick, right?
Thank you, baby. You need to share screen, True?
No. Let me make sure I got the right page. I lost some mute up.
Yeah, now why you cooking on that, man? Because the aroma is smelling good over here. You know, I like coming to great grandmama's kitchen. I'm sorry, I shouldn't date you like that, Bethy. You ain't got grandchildren yet, but Big Mama.
Yes, I do. I got twin grandsons. They 8 years old.
Oh, well, congratulations. Here's the thing. And I know this is somewhat frustrating, but thank you again for sharing your wisdom and being the educator as the first, and you too, Isness. No matter whether people respect it or not, the mother is the first educator because we all come through the mother.
I want to thank all of y'all for y'all's wisdom. You ain't
When
right, never,
we
Bravo.
keep having to do battle with people who mean us malicious harm. By the way, you said you didn't see Judas and the Black Messiah yet, Isness?
You know why? Let me tell you. Real side note. It's because I'm boycotting these actors who are playing, who are telling our story, and I think that's wrong. I
I
I
think
do
got
that
you.
too.
I
I
got you.
think that indigenous actors should be able to tell these stories. There has to be somebody, and so that's the reason why I just can't do it.
No, and my sister, I can feel you on making a personal choice like that. And the irony of it is too, they ain't got no stories that we could go play from other lands.
Right?
You ever thought about that?
No, not until just now.
You know, what's famous about African whatever? Even do you know they about to break out Bob Marley's movie coming up probably in November?
I
Chief
saw
Bethy.
that. You
Hmm.
know what? Are you sure it's not on Netflix already?
No, 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 no. This is a feature film. Now,
Oh.
pointing that out, and by the way, that's Bob Marley. I think it's called One Love. This Killers of Flower Moon shenanigan thing that's going to go and elevate these Native American mongoloid hybrids. The three criminals at the helm are the Italian niggas Martin Scorsese,
Mm.
Robert De Niro, and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Hey, stay on topic real quick. Hey, Shay Sean, you talking about 1526, but in this federal census, fuck what you talking about. Fuck what a motherfucker assuming. It's telling you in this federal census that it was niggas in that region at 1520. 6 years before all that shit, and it talk about the extensive slave hunting that they was doing in the area on these niggas that was here before any European ever came. So I don't know if you kind of slow on comprehending,
Most of them are.
but you should comprehend a little bit more. But let me show you how deeper it go. They already
Now,
established
wait a
with
minute
the
though. When you made that 1520 reference, what was that referencing in 1520? And this would, I guess, still be in Florida, or what we consider Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi today.
well, how do you know that those was Africans, bro? If they was doing extensive slave hunting on niggas in 1520 in that region already. So right now you assume. But but they told you how the Yamasee, the Seminoles.
And this would be going from what we call the Gulf Coast region, I would argue, all the way to the Mississippi, backwards up through Tennessee and over to Virginia and the Carolinas, right? Essentially, as the overall geographic boundaries.
So you said that Oklahoma became a state in 1900?
1907, if I'm not mistaken, was the exact year that there was extended statehood, coinciding with the finding of oil and stealing the legacies of our great matriarchs like Sarah Rector, if you've not heard that story.
No, not that story. I'm just because I can trace family to Oklahoma, but it was before then. So
Remember, all these things that are named states today were called Indian Territory. Kansas, Indian Territory. Missouri, Indian Territory, et cetera, all through the Dakotas up into the great Northwest. It was all referenced Indian Territory.
yeah, because yeah. So when I look it up, it'll tell me like two places. It'll say Choctaw Territory, and then it'll say the town, whatever. I can't remember right now. And so I'm like, well, which one is it?
But no
So
African territory, right?
no, no, no.
Let's be
There's no
clear. Let's
African
be clear. Okay.
territory.
Okay.
No.
I'm just thinking. I was wondering if I'm slipping here now,
No,
but
no African territory.
and again, remember these are people documenting us trying to steal our shit. By definition, colonialism is trying to steal your land, right?
Yeah, like why? What incentive would they have to tell you the truth? Of course they're gonna lie. They're trying to take your stuff. Of course they're gonna say, "Oh no, you know this ain't." Basically, I'm gonna use the house. This ain't your house. You was brought here just like I was. They're trying to take your things. So if anybody can't believe it, I don't understand why people can't believe that maybe we really didn't come from Africa. It's because these people are trying to take another group of people's land. And the slickest way that they felt that they could do that is to befriend them and tell them, well, your ancient ancestor came from over there, just like we came from over there, yesterday. And so that's what they've been doing. And, people probably didn't even really like blink an eye when people were trying to say that. But now we know with 2020 vision, we could look back and say why they did this, because they were trying to take your land.
Yep. That's a fact. It's just facts. All facts. So, see, we, Truth, we come with the federal documents. All they have is their colleagues' books.
Scholarship? You mean the scholarship?
That's it.
Peer review scholarship, you mean?
Yeah, he said he gonna debunk a federal document with a .org document. That's crazy.
I'm done.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. Our former government defined us. There was something different about the white people.
Did you? I know you were going a certain way with the conversation, but can I lay that log back on the fire of post-millennium?
Go.
So do you get conceptually now? Because I know I was kind of hitting in and out when we had that discussion in the wake of the movie, but simply put, because it gets real deep when it gets into Latin language, and you know how, because you deal with the law and the medicine, these Latin terms can blow the tops of people's heads off. Okay, but whether you want to pull it back up or not, the reference of being reinitialized into your original existence and status, that is the point of why a nation. That is the point of whether or not people go and find whatever their disillusioned, uncivilized tribe that has been dispersed and scattered to the wind. You create family government inside your household. You're governing. But then the question becomes, how is it your status reinstated the way the post-millennium is referencing? You see what I'm saying, Queen Mother?
I do, brother.
So if you could, because I sent you a couple of them. In matter of fact, even if you could use the Webster's Dictionary version of post-millennium. I mean, most of the time, especially if we're showing it for people to see.
The updated one or the 1828?
No, the one that said post-millennium that I sent to you when we were talking in the Zoom conversation. I sent you 3 different references that had the Oxford Dictionary, the Merriam-Webster, and then there's the actual law dictionary that speaks of it specifically in Roman law, which we'll eventually have to use when we clearly understand what it's stating. But even with the Merriam definition, which is pretty,
it's better because I
POST, post-millennium, LIMINIUM, post-millennium, one word.
Oh, that's why.
LIMINIUM. Now, post-millennium, and the only reason why I keep bringing this up, because there are people like to argue about, for example, whether the Willie Lynch letter existed or not, or whether or not doctrine of discovery is fake. And I love Chief, and I know what he does and why he does it. But it's not the issue of whether the document was fake or not. The issue is people act on it. Remember when we went and covered the Supreme Court ruling of Ruth Bader Ginsburg? That's the highest court in this land. That's the overarching government and jurisprudence established by the judgments made from the Supreme Court, right? They came with the premise that the doctrine of discovery is in existence, right? And then they upheld it by saying the land acquisitions that exist, stealing our land currently today, are essentially codified in law because possession is 9/10 of the law. They don't address how the possession was through theft, genocide, massacre, lynching, bombing, And you know, we got a laundry list of all the ways and manners that they took the land, calling it abandoned, eminent domain, gentrification, redlining. These are all torts. I know you know what I mean when I say this now, but go ahead and share that definition from Webster.
It's already up. You got it.
It's real small on my screen.
How is it small? All right,
well, like I
how's
said,
that?
I'm on my phone, so hold on a second. Let me see here. A Roman legal doctrine whereby those captured by an enemy are regarded as having died free men. So we need to really pause for a moment and understand what that statement means. Once you're captured, they're considering you dead, though you don't have to be physically dead.
Correct.
Your existence is considered dead as a free man with rights and existence that is tangible, right?
Correct.
Before capture, to protect those claiming under them, and that means basically like your children or your wife, spouse, etc. And whereby, upon their return to the jurisdiction of Rome, the captives regain their suspended property and civil rights. Okay, go ahead, chop it up, sister. What you think?
That explains you why we have freedmen. The freedmen, a Roman legal doctrine whereby those captured by an enemy are regarded as having died freemen before capture.
Freemen, not freed, not
freemen.
With a D.
Right, freemen.
So you're not freed from enslavement. You know how they doing this freedman crap in the tribes currently.
Yep.
But go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So now you notice the second version that's in international context, right? That first one was specific to Roman governing because this is a Roman jurisprudence. The word in and of itself, and it's under Roman imperial law. The right or rule of international law, under which when persons or things taken by an enemy in war come again under the control of their own state, they, as a general rule, regain the rights belonging or returning to them before what? Before capture.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where does claiming Africanness enter into this whatsoever?
It does not.
I got you.
It does not.
I got you. I understand.
Facts.
So as long as you sitting up here talking about you're African, you will never reclaim who you are before you were captured. You would just be claiming some other thing, and you're in this perpetual state of death, which is how you say black means dead. So until you, and this is the reason why even I think it's New Growth, whatever, everyone is saying you have to say that you are the Indian, you are the indigenous, because until then you are in that perpetual state of death.
Correct.
I got it.
That's
now, Isna, since you put that up, because I want you to see and hear it in your own way, and I appreciate. Thank you, my good mother.
Great articulation, sister.
Now, when you're making any African reference, then where should you be?
In Africa.
And who should you be taking up issue with?
Their people, their government, their rulers.
And is it going to be first with the tribal war between tribes that sold your ass to the European? I mean, I don't know. I'm just walk with me for a minute here, Isthmus. Do you see where you could take this if you are intelligent and look clearly and logically at the situation? Let's just say you find that African nigga in the woodpile, okay? Because this is what R.40 and FBA niggas like Tariq Nasheed and ADOS niggas like Yvette Carnell. They are trying to convince people of what?
Color.
Slavery, or descendants of the slaves, the African.
Right.
They're trying to tell you you're the African.
Okay. Do you understand the significance of this particular law of Roman imperial rule and the continuation of empire and conquest that flows through the Vatican? Because the Vatican represents Roman Empire, correct?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And then they put it on who and sick them on who? Turned loose on the world. The Portuguese, the Spaniards, the Dutch, the French, the English, came last. They late to the party. You know that, right? Really? Even though we keep speaking English and we keep holding them up. All them other people I talked about were here for hundreds of years before the English got on this soil. Did you go look up in Holland and the Netherlands? You look up at their records? Because New York is New Amsterdam. Yeah?
Correct.
Did you go to Paris, to the Louvre? Did you go to Madrid in Spain? Did you go to Lisbon in Portugal? You feel where I'm going with this isness?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're taking up this issue, who are you taking it up with? Who is your captor for you to fall under this jurisdiction of post-millennium? Because this is wartime law jurisdiction.
Are you trying to say that if anybody did have a claim against somebody, it should be against the Catholics, the Roman?
Well, first of all, you have to put aside the doctrine of discovery just for a moment, but I'm saying let's deal with the point of contact of what they're arguing in the narrative. You saw The Woman King? I know Chief did. You seen The Woman King? I know you said something about boycotting these movies, but did you see The Woman King with Viola Davis?
I did.
Well, you know the concept of the narrative of the Dahomey Empire.
Mm-hmm.
And how prolific they were in slave trading through warring with other tribes.
Oh, correct. You're saying you should go to the African if you feel.
Oh, I'm not saying nothing. I'm listening to you, sister. I'm asking you on the scenario dealing with post-millennium, the law that you just saw. Well, if you want Queen Mother to put it back up there, because remember, I'm putting 2 points out here. The law itself is the Roman Empire. The second clause is about international law. You feel me, business? That would include all nations worldwide, right?
Correct.
So go ahead, sister. You cooking? You cooking? I want to hear how your approach would be to this. When you're listening to people try to argue with you about this, you're trying to give them powerful positions, even in their ignorance. If you feel where I'm going with this. So what say you, my sister? How would you approach this discussion? Someone's arguing with you about reparations, and this is what they need, and this is they got a bag, and they've been harmed. And I'm not disagreeing with none of the notions they're saying, because Mama Chief keeps talking to us about those harms are specific to us, not to Africans. But go ahead. What would you say in response, Isness? Did she drop?
No, she's here. Bottom line.
No, I was just trying to role play with her a little bit there. But did you get what I'm proposing though?
I do. But the bottom line, if they're claiming all this harm to themselves, then they need to go to who did it to them, Africa. Because if you watch Woman King, they were capturing other tribe members in Africa and selling them.
So that's the first point of contact and capture during war, correct?
Correct.
Then the selling of them to the Portuguese, because they noticed they had the Portuguese mestizo, mulatto, whatever the character was being played. Always a love interest, by the way. Interesting.
Okay.
But then now you go into the second layer on the sell, right? So how do you think that this was rolled out? Because we kind of defer to you as a legal expert in the particular scenario that we're describing. So you'd have to identify the warring tribes, the point of capture, then the party sold to, and the disembarkment from these mythological slave castles they keep telling us about now, right? Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast. Go ahead, sister, go.
And then, so that means that you will have to identify all these people, and that's where you should start your lawsuit. Because they're the ones.
Please explain to me where the colonial government or the United States federal government is in this equation.
They're not, because the United States came later. theoretically, you were here and the United States came later.
Later.
The United States is only
Right.
200 and something years old.
Correct.
So if anybody
So then
has
where's the
if
claim?
they want to make a claim, yeah,
So where's the claim?
the claim would be against your cousin over there who sold you, theoretically, if that was
Now, do
true.
you see how this is getting into a whole helly mess? And if you've noticed, this has been rising recently amongst them and their nonsense. Now, did you see the Ghana trick that they pulled recently in the news, Queen Mother?
Oh my goodness.
And did you notice this? If people pay close attention, they spoke specifically to African nations, not
Thank you.
individual Africans, Isness.
And I read that.
I didn't get that.
Oh, you did? Oh, let me pull it
No.
up.
I didn't see that it was the African nations, but I did see that it wasn't their government. It wasn't a government official, right? The person who said this was not a government official. Am I wrong about that?
Now, you're talking about in the reporting of it, but this particular
I'm talking about
Ghanaian,
the man standing. The man.
yeah, the
standing there.
Ghanaian representative. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Was that at the UN, Queen Mother?
No.
That particular incident?
Hold up,
It looked like
hang
he
on.
was just standing there. Somebody pulled up a camera, looked all official and stuff like that, but that was really just somebody, just a man with no authority whatsoever.
But I'm not trying to back you in a corner, Isness, or cause confusion. I'm trying to say, if we're going to allow people to speak a reparations discussion amongst us and attach African slavery to us, which is defamatory. If we're on the same page together, we're walking together on this.
Yes.
So to call you out of your name is slanderous. It's also scandalous, but you know what's happening. If you were called black at a certain time amongst us, those are fighting words, right?
Yeah.
Right? You think they should be fighting words again?
No, they should be fighting words. And
Okay,
they were fighting words. They were fighting words. You're right.
Yeah, okay. So and you could call a Negro black, right?
No, you cannot.
Shouldn't be called a Negro, but here, but not to confuse or cloud the situation. But you get my point there. So you're calling me out my name, you're slandering my family, you're scandalizing me, and you're defaming me. You write that shit down, that means any document, in a letter, government form, that's libel. You understand slander and libel is the basis of fraud. You understand that? Conceptually. So everything using any of these designations is slanderous and libelous and fraudulent. That makes it a crime. Prima facie, is that what it's called, Queen Mother? Prima facie evidence.
Prima facie. Yeah.
What more do we need to be discussing, Isness?
I don't know, but you make a really good point. You make some good points.
So let's get to the slavery thing. And this is what really infuriates me. Understand that reparations in only two existence are the ones they love to throw in your faces, Japanese Americans and the Ish people, okay? Both of which are government policies of World War II, correct?
Yeah.
And even the Japanese Americans, though they're not Americans, had their personal businesses and some homes and properties confiscated from them, and they were placed in concentration camps, correct?
Yeah.
We already know about the supposed ovens and the mass final solution that they've been trying to implement on the Negro since they first got here, and they practiced it on the so-called small hat people. Right?
Yeah.
Are they still being paid to this very day in 2023?
Oh, they are. Absolutely. They have a whole country, got land, guns, nuclear weapons. They're
So explain to me how the reparations issue is pertinent to the African nigger slave. And what war are you referencing?
No, what you're saying.
You see, now we're circling back to what I told you about the claim issue.
Yeah, they need to go back to Africa. And these people are admitting, they're saying we sold you. They're all over the internet talking about.
Okay, now let's get with the wrinkle now here, Isnes. Let's get with the wrinkle. When did these nation states come to being? The 54 thereabouts on the African continent? I don't think they predate the civil rights movement, do they, Queen Mother? So do you think those African governments are going to acknowledge any responsibility any more than the colonial or United States government is going to say that they are culpable? Feel what I'm asking you, Isness. Do you feel what I'm asking you?
Yeah, yeah.
Who would be the entity you're going to deal with in the 1500s, in the 1600s, in the 1700s, in Mother Africa?
They're descendants of those tribes.
Which tribes?
I am whoever is in Nigeria, because they're telling you that you came out of Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and is Ghana one? They're telling you you're coming out of West Africa. Then all the claims need to be geared towards those nations in West Africa, whoever they are.
And where's the paper trail? What documentation?
All of these people, obviously, they got documents. They telling us we from Africa.
Right.
So those
Jabaree,
people,
I'm sure he
Jabaree got it, right?
They got their DNA test.
All the African Americans.
Okay. And I do know the disclaimer on all of those websites tell you what about genetic DNA. You better not go nowhere near a court of law unless you want to be locked the fuck up. You do know that, right, Isness?
Yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
so I'm asking again, and I'm trying to be serious here, logical. Remove race from the issue. I'm talking about a claim of horrific dimensions, right? Isn't that what they keep teaching us in this narrative, in the curriculum? This is not an African Holocaust. This is a hell of a cost. Huh?
Yeah.
You think you got some paperwork somewhere? Now let me take another approach at this. You familiar with Barclays? Barclays is like one of the largest financial institutions / banks in England. Okay. Not even going to deal with the Bank of England or the City of London, which is not London, the city. You do know that, right? The difference between the two. The City of London is the actual financial ruler of the planet. Okay. You think they'd have some paperwork? You think?
I'm thinking.
How about the insurance companies? You never hear about those, do you?
Where's their paperwork?
You think the property, the cargo would be insured?
Yes.
You think they'd have some paperwork?
Yep.
Queen Mother, didn't I ask you about the infamous, mysterious Rhode Island? Have you had a chance to consider doing a build on why they say that 95% of the slave ship captains came from that one tiny state? You think they have a roster of those slave ship captains, Isness?
You would think.
You think they have a bookkeeper that know the ships that they sailed and the cargo manifest?
Coming back, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I say. I'm just repeating shit I heard. Okay? But does it make sense, Isness?
It does, absolutely.
Should you have your shit and your paperwork in order before you flap your gums about saying some of the shit that they've been saying?
Well, I think they already have their paperwork in order. That's the reason why they talk about they're going to call the feds on folks. They got their paperwork all in order. And like you said, they are making the claim against the wrong person. They need to go to, what are you saying? You're saying the English?
No, I mean, stay with me, my sister, so that I'm going to help you stay off the BIA list. Okay. The Bureau of Indian Affairs and the BIE Extremist Terrorist Watch Group. You feel me?
Oh, okay.
So you didn't say this. Who said this? Post-Laminium and the Roman Empire. You feel me?
Yes.
So what does that law and that international jurisdiction say that you looked up in the dictionary, Merriam-Webster? When you are captured, at moment of capture, you are seen as a dead, free man, since mostly men were in war. Not to say that women weren't taken captive, but you get my point, right?
Yes.
And once returned, say what now?
Hello.
Be a collective.
My bad.
And once returned, we're about to wrap it up, True. Once returned to what would be your original state of existence? Under your own roof, under your own house, back on your shit?
Yeah.
And you are to be made what? In regards to this law, under international jurisdiction, you be to made whole? Your civil, human, and property rights are restored? That's what the law says, right? Who are these fools talking about? Hmm? Who are they talking about that they were enslaved by? And you know we can go into, and Mama Chief already got all the chapter and verse in the documents, that Indians were enslaved by Indians on American soil. You aware of that, Isness?
Yes, I am.
So who are these niggas talking about? I'm just asking, make that make sense, please, because I'm an old nigga. You know what I say about being an old nigga. Make that make sense, my dear.
I don't think I can. I'm trying.
And I only ask, where is their evidence? Where is their evidence? And they have the nerve and the arrogance to roll up in our community, tell us to source up or shut up. Prove something that's already proven, that all the world knows all these offenses and violations were done to who? The nigga in America. Correct?
Yeah.
But people keep trying to steal our shit, huh? Steal our story, steal our identity, call us out of our name, convince us of what? We somebody else, we from somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
You now see how that's an international crime.
That is.
Is this something to be played with?
What's up, son? You up here now, man? I think you barking up the wrong tree, though, bro.
What's up, yo? What I'm
What's
barking
up?
at?
That's your general now? Sonetta, your general?
Come on, bro. I like you. I don't know why.
Yeah, I seen
I
you from
got
that
blocked
chat
from their
last
channel. I
night.
got blocked from their channel.
What did they
Now,
do?
what's
What did you do? Show them the book of Negroes? But go ahead.
No, I told him. I told Sanetta he not. Q Butter was saying he wasn't our elder. He was mad. I said he not my elder either. You know what I'm saying? I respect what him being like a liaison or a middleman to the information, but he not like he an elder in the sense that he's older. I respect my elders. He good. You know what I'm saying? If he was in my presence, of course I'm gonna treat him like an elder in that sense. But as far as information, he not an elder. I never seen Sanetta. I don't know if Sarnetta offers information. He brings the people to the platform, so he was a little offended by that. The chat was too. So whatever. I don't go over there anyway, so that's neither here nor there.
Well, I don't have anything against Sinetta per se, but I do witness that he did some disingenuous disingenuous things on his panel to people, including myself. But that's okay, because I could let that go. I let that go. I mean, as far as him being in the roads and things of that, I do see footage of him being in that community for a lot of years. So I don't have anything negative to say about him, but you know, a lot of the things he do on his panel is real shady. And I like Q Butter too. I don't
Yeah, they
just
sound they sound like they got something personal going on. That's what I be saying. Like keep it to the information. I don't know what they got going on. I think a lot of people still kind of mad about the polite situation, so it's still like little animosity there. I guess a lot of them feel like you know he was a part of that. So I don't care about none of that.
all right.
nah? They can't do that to him, man, because them niggas was fucking with that nigga too at the same time, bro.
Yeah.
Only motherfuckers they really can back themselves away from the nigga is the Hebrew Israelite niggas, but all them niggas was coattailing them because the Hebrew Israelite niggas was beating their ass, you know, intellectually, not physically.
I'm about to say the Hebrew Israelites be fighting each other. I know you seen that video.
Oh yeah, nigga, I got homies that's Hebrew Israelites from camps that's known from Sinetta shit out in Cali and up here in Chicago and in
Smash
Michigan.
the like button, y'all. Please, can y'all smash the like button for me?
And if you can share it too, man. Show Sister Betty some love, man. Thank you too for providing the space, Sister
Thank
Betty.
you too, sweetheart. You, Isness, Ali Bamu. I really appreciate y'all. And I really enjoy dialoguing. You know, I'm accused of not dealing with women, but that's not true. I deal with women that have great vibes. And I just feel certain women have just beautiful vibes. And I like to deal with beautiful vibes. I think Isness has, you know, really, really great vibes. And I think she's a dear.
Well, thank you.
I
Thank you
do.
for sharing your platform. I appreciate it.
Anytime you guys are welcome. Y'all know that. But I just wanted to really address Jabaree with threatening the feds. I mean, which would be cool. But
Nah, that's not cool, Betty. We gotta
it's not.
overall, our views aside, like our personal thing, we still gotta treat each other like, like we each other people. Like that's not, I don't know if he said that, but I hope he was joking saying that. But you know,
That's all well and good, but I don't like to be threatened in that manner because I'm not a scam person. I don't do that. It's not me. It's not my character. It's not my way. Um, they don't like the fact that we pull up federal documents, primary sources. They got a little problem with primary sources. Those dudes, when they pull up, they pull up. They don't even pull up secondary sources, and it's just mind-boggling to me.
I ain't surprised though. I mean, that dude, I done seen them on numerous occasions when he seen where he can go low and try to make shit over with early on some low blow, dirty tactics ass shit, like he did it with Zion Lex. Zion Lex was finna fuck him up for that. But then when he get that type of response, then his whole demeanor change and shit. You feel me? So like with these type of guys, man, sometimes you gotta you gotta know how to attack them the right way because I'm gonna just say him. He the only one that I know do shit, and then there's a couple of other little millions over there that be doing weird shit like that too. But I expect more from him though. You feel me? Because he older. Why would you want to destroy a young brother because or a sister because of some uh dis uh disagreements and ideology?
Yeah, what I don't understand is when they're shown or provided with primary sources, as if they're disappointed and just like to me, okay, it's like you show them real government proof, like what we just showed them, the census, which is why I said we don't need to go back that far. And they see it. I don't know if they're disappointed. Oh my God, I've been fighting for Africanism, and now this. I don't know if it's shame or they're ashamed that they're um, identifying as a people that they're not, or I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean,
I'm proud to be an American Indian. Shit. I'm proud to be able to identify as who I am and not be killed by the government like they did our people.
that's one thing I want to say too. Like in the midst of this conversation, I think it's okay. Like how you just said, you proud to be American Indian. I think a lot of times when we have, people like me, not a coincidence, or the people that's, the opposite side. I know personally for myself, I never want y'all to feel like um y'all can't claim Indian or I'm never saying that black people are not that. You know what I'm saying? My claim is always, the whole mixed thing. But I feel like a lot of people say, y'all not Indian at all, or people are not Indian. I don't think that's true or fair to say. Not that it's not true. It's not fair to say. If black people that do have, Indian in their family want to claim that, they have every right. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
But according to our former government, we are the Indian. And that's written. And That's literally a report to the United States government who the Negro is, the Indian. They had to report that to the U.S. government.
Hey, Sister Betty, is it okay if I talk to Shay Son for one
Oh,
quick
go ahead, y'all.
second?
Go ahead. I'll be right back. Hold it down.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold it down. Y'all got it.
Before you start on that dialogue, Truth, as she was just stating, and it's always very infuriating to me. Limited African reference at best is in not just document records, but when people want to claim they have insurance claims, policies, documents, or whatnot. Did you ever see the Finding Your Roots episode with the drummer from the Roots, Questlove? Did you ever chance to ever see that episode with Henry Louis Gates?
No, I ain't saying that.
Bro, he claimed that Negro had an ancestor from both sides on Clotilda. But go ahead, chop it up, bro. Chop it up.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm kind of finna get into that. Hey, Shay Son. Hey, P Gang. Cash, your mic fucked up. Please mute up, bro. Appreciate it. Your mic real bad.
That's that Detroit Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Hey, P Gang, right?
That 7 Mile Wi-Fi.
Now, you say y'all got records. Would it be fair to say that you believe that for the African shit, they got primary documented records, insurance records, ships they came on, ship logs, et cetera, right?
Yeah, they got the name of some ships.
Right. They got the records of the people, everything, right? Like that's the story. That's the story of all Black Americans, right?
Yeah, anyone that don't come from, like, you talking about Caribbean people, they came a little later on. But
let's just deal with North America. We ain't got
we're
gonna just talk about North America, all right? That's safe to say?
Yeah.
All right, so P Gang. Now, are you familiar with a case that went before the Supreme Court in the Northern District of Illinois?
Nah.
All right, so I'm gonna fill you in, right? You had these Black lawyers, Black scholars. I'm talking about you had at least like 6 of them with the records, the alleged records and documentation and everything. Went before the federal government the same way the Japanese did after World War II. The same thing with who else got some reparations and shit? Well, a bunch of individuals as well too, with these records to sue for what's been done, right? They dismissed their case without prejudice from the jump because of the so-called records that motherfuckers said they had.
What was in the record? You gotta. You should have a. I'm not gonna judge you if you don't. You should have like a link to the case so I could look it up. Like, what was the Black people arguing? These particular lawyers or these particular people.
They was arguing reparations the same way the Chinese and the Japanese did, and they got it.
Yeah, I would have to look at the whole case to see.
Man, say less. I'm gonna get you that link and drop it in there for you, bro.
Not saying that it ain't true, because I think somebody was telling me about a case, but they didn't say in Illinois. The other day, I think AP went live. Somebody was in the chat telling me about a case like that. I think his name X8 Dev. He was telling me about a case like that.
Oh yeah,
but he didn't say a state. So
yeah, I know exactly what courtroom it was in. Well, I'm gonna go grab a link for you, and I'm gonna let you look at it. But look, here go the thing though, right? They didn't win. Matter of fact, they shit got shut down with without prejudice and shit. After they presented everything it wasn't enough. But it's other people that had their personal records went before the court and won. But the niggas ain't never won. You don't think it's a problem with that, bro?
Yeah, but court tricky. It depends on what you arguing. It depends on what you arguing for. It depends. Then the court court is a different world, man. Like you especially when it comes to black people being in court. I don't care what you claiming.
Yeah, man. I kind
So
of hate
I'm
how
not.
smoke.
I don't want to blame it on that. Like I said, I want to see what
You
they
want to
was about
see
to
it?
argue.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back with you too, cause I ain't gonna lie, I done hit a little bit of this
I
weed
get
and
what
my
you're
shit done
saying though.
slowed down though. I can't
I
even
get what you're
put
saying
my
though. Like
shit
other
out
people
right.
winning in court, but we not. I get that. I can't say I don't get that. I get it.
Yo, am I still staticky?
Yeah, you in Pontiac right now.
How you know all these places in Memphis, Detroit, man?
Yo, I know every city, every state.
This nigga
I'm
done had a
I'm
chick here in motherfucking Detroit.
I'm real studied in my cities and states.
Yeah, yeah, my bad, bro. That's staticky. I'm in like at work, man, so I'm like in the back, so it's weird. But I wanted to point out, man, earlier, Alabama on the other show, he talked about people couldn't get no land over in Africa, and my uncle
Cash, you might have to drop down and come back, yo,
dropped down. Okay,
because
okay.
it just sound bad. All right, truth and Alabama, y'all or the isn't y'all could address this. Somebody in the chat said the Muskogee was labeled as Negroes, but I'm looking at a case that was in the New Yorker where the Muskogee was kicking out they black members because they was black. They didn't want these people that had of African descent to in their tribe no more.
Well,
So
that's the people who they put in place over the BIA through the Secretary of Interior. So even they got somebody that they answer to, and somebody put them in position to make it that way, my nigga. That's
yeah,
simple
but
shit.
black why would black people be kicking out black people? You
Nah,
ain't
these
gonna have
ain't
no
black
black
people.
people.
These ain't black people kicking out black people, bro.
That's what I'm saying. These
I know
Muskogee,
that. We
these
not.
original.
We'll
That
never.
that's what that's that, the
Right.
only. What I'm saying is when we look around, like with
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these Indian tribes we be naming in the southeast,
Right.
a lot of them have a history or just in documentation of stating or going to the court or the law saying they don't want to either be identified with these black members or they don't want them apart no more. So one would have to ask, who are these black people that they're distinguishing themselves from? Because we
Right.
can't say you got people saying, "Oh, Africans never came here; they never were slaves here. We ain't African." But why are these Indian tribes making this distinction themselves? Who are these other black people?
You done?
Yeah,
Nah, I ain't want to cut you out. I
no,
want
go
trying to be
ahead.
funny. All right, so little P game, bro.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt him, but I did have a specific question once you go in. Truth, go ahead.
All right. These are not other black people. This is a buffer class that was created by the United States government under the Secretary of Interior to make sure that these type of things just go on. But the real question is these so-called people that you're talking about kicking the niggas out and shit, bro, don't none of them never have no family ties back to these places, these Muskogee regions that they say they came from. But all them niggas do. The niggas is the only ones that got actual blood ties still back to the area of where these Muskogee people came from. These people don't. This a buffer class that been put in place to make sure that things go the way that it go. Point blank period.
And
They not other niggas, bro. They're a
no,
buffer class that's been set up.
and why don't you understand that if you've heard of the Dawes Roll and $5 Indians? What does that mean to you, Shah Sun?
The $5 Indian term don't come from because I know y'all try to project it like some other group of people came in and started claiming to be Indian. That like that's not true, bro.
No, wait a
That,
minute. That's the actual record of the Dawes Roll. How are you going to turn around and
all
say, well,
right,
something's not true? That's actually how people got on the Dawes Roll.
I'm not saying that outsiders didn't, but what I'm saying is the people that were originally these people still wasn't black people, and that's why I mentioned they're themselves are making the distinction.
Hold
Hold on,
on,
hold
there,
on,
brother.
Alabama.
Hold on. No, no, no,
Hold on,
no. Hold on, because
Alabama.
I no, I need to
I'm
stop
gonna
you
I'm
right
gonna put the
now with
case.
you're using. You're using a denigrating term. Now you can choose to do that for yourself,
It's just for
but you keep
conversation's sake. I'm not
mixing
trying
up.
to offend nobody.
No, you are doing that. So would you
I'm not
please
trying to. I'm
listen for a
just for
moment?
if I
So
so
then
what
you
word
need
do
to
you want me to
actually
use?
listen to why it's offensive, Shah. That's the point. And you just seem to have a problem with that.
If I use blue, you're not gonna know who I'm talking about.
Uh,
If
if you use
just for
American or
conversation's sake,
American
Alabama.
Indian over in this community, we know who you're talking about. If you use black, you are defaming members of this community. Could you understand that?
All right, that's cool, but I'm not speaking in that. I'm not speaking in the term to defame or disrespect nobody. I'm saying it for conversation's sake, for the people in the chat, so they know who we talking about. That's why I said if we.
Hey, Shy. Hey, yo, let me ask you a question. You listening, bro?
Yeah, I'm listening.
All right. So why do all these niggas, these black people that you call and shit, they actually still got family ties back to the land where these people originally from, but these people that you are calling the real ones don't. You don't find that funny that they really don't have no ties or family connection outside of that reservation?
That's not true. The
That
Lenape.
is true.
Hold on. I got you. I got you. I got
No,
you.
we talking about the Muskogee. You said the Muskogee, bro.
Muskogee, yeah, the Muskogee do have
We,
like who said that they didn't have ties there? I think you're just making that claim. Who
bro,
said that they didn't?
you don't
Hold on,
see
I got
those
you.
people. You don't see those people out there, bro.
Hold on, I got you. I got you. Just like the Lenape. The Lenape on Facebook. You could look at them. They throw
Stop,
tribal.
stop, stop,
Hold on, I'm
stop,
giving
stop.
you.
No, we're not going to have the move goalposts.
I'm not moving the goalposts. I'm giving you an
Deal with
example.
exactly what he asked you. The
And the
Muskogee Creek,
Muskogee are down
the
there.
the
The Muskogee are
Muskogee
down there.
Creek
Bro,
And
are
the Muskogee
you
are
in and
spoke
down
on.
out
there.
of Oklahoma
Hold on.
territory.
The Creek and the Muskogee people are down there. The majority of them now
Have
to
you
today.
been out to Oklahoma
Can
before?
I finish? Can I finish? Because I said this to
Yeah.
you. Because I
Go
said
ahead,
this to
bro.
you. Hold on, truth. I said this to you about 3 months ago, and I remember saying this to you because y'all asked me on the panel.
What
I
you
said
say?
I specifically said the majority of the Indians that you see today in today's time would look like us. I said that. So that's apply. That's correlating what you saying. Oh, we don't barely see them. You don't barely. I say that all the time. You barely see those people. You see a sprinkle of them, but you don't see them all the time. Majority of them, I don't know where they went. I don't know where they. I don't want to assume that they were killed off. A lot of people be like, oh, you know how they
Right.
say, oh, they were murdered off. I don't know if that's true. I personally think they just started fleeing the lands after the wars. But
Right.
all this killing them off and diseases, I'm
So
not
peep
saying that's
game.
not. I'm not
Let
saying
me
that's not true, but I don't think that's the only reason. I think a lot of them were fleeing lands and they went out to certain reservations and they started hiding under, like you said earlier. You were saying like a lot of them might have, amalgamated with other tribes that may have been stronger. You know what I'm saying? But
No, they get that was force.
yeah,
That
yeah,
shit I
no, I'm
was
not.
talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
That
It
was
was
force
forced. That's
shit
what I'm saying.
done by the government.
Yeah, yeah,
All
true.
right.
That's what I'm saying. So,
But
but what I'm
look,
saying is that they're
this something that you
consolidated
gotta
now.
but this something that you gotta put in your mind too. At the same time, this going on, right? Now they not speaking about no wars or nothing. They just going out there doing census, right? That's regular work. You feel me? Like they actually got to go meet with these people. So this ain't no wartime when that shit was going on, right? So, but you got to also put in perspective the dancing rabbit tree that got updated a couple of times. You know, it was formed in 1828, then established in 1830, got updated in 1836, again in 1868, and then the last time in 18 not between 1896 and 1898, and then after that, that's when they established the Dawes Rolls. After that, because you had a whole bunch of other different rolls besides the Dawes Rolls. It's more different rolls than the Dawes Rolls. But go read Article 14 and Article 19 of this treaty. This in that article it clearly states, and from 14 and also 19 dealing with their rights as well too, that they did not have to leave their lands, but the system was coming in and they will be amalgamated into the system. They will be given, everybody will have equal rights, same whoop the whoop the whoop, and their lands will be would be surveyed and sectioned off amongst them and shit like that. You feel me? So a lot of them never left and went out there like that. So even if most of them did, some of them would have stayed. And you don't see no resemblance of these people in those areas at all. We talking about just with the Muskogee you talking about.
Can I say something about the Dawes rules? Can you hear me? Hello?
You
Yes,
Yeah.
low,
I
you
can.
low,
I
but we
can
can
hear
hear you,
you.
but you're a little
I
low.
can hear you. And
Oh,
after she
okay.
finished, I'm gonna direct y'all over to App Powers channel.
All right, cool.
Okay. Okay. One thing I have to say about the Dawes rules, and I don't know, I'm not a scholar, so I don't know. But all I know is when I checked my records, I have grandparents up on there, and they were black. My mother had seen them. They were dark skin, like dark skin. And so, and then if I look at the transcripts, scripts, people before and after, his testimony, if that person said they were a Cherokee and black, if they put the black on there, because my ancestor said he was Cherokee, that's all he said, and he got his land. But if you looked at the person who said they were Cherokee and black, that person was denied. So there is something to, where did this black come from? But not all those people on the Dawes roll were other people. I'm telling you, they're dark skinned. I could show you their descendants. Everybody's dark, and that person in my family can be found on those Dawes rolls.
That's the thing, though. Is the isness if a person back then wanted to, if you could have somebody black that was actually mixed, but if they wanted to say they was full blooded or who was going, they wasn't doing DNA tests, so it would take. That's why this is why I'm referencing this Muskogee thing. The people that's the original people that that's in charge are telling you like, yo, I know you black and Indian. I don't want you a part of this. Now every tribe isn't doing that. Every tribe isn't cleaning out the mixed babies. Some of them allowed, certain people to say, yo, I'm just a full-blooded Indian. But some of them wasn't doing that. Some of them like, yo, no, you're mixed. We don't want you apart.
But you keep saying the people that was really in charge, like, and you not taking into account the fact that
That's
the
conspiracy, bro. I ain't dealing with that truth.
I ain't dealing with conspiracy either,
You
bro. You
trying
can
to say
go,
that the original people ain't making the call. I would
hey,
have to
look, look,
disagree.
look, keep going, bro. The government is making the call. They put those people in those positions, and every one of them chiefs that you speaking about, bro, when you start really getting into their bloodline, these motherfuckers is really just white folks and shit with a little bit of blood. They go way the fuck back and shit. These niggas not even fucking half breeds, bro. These niggas like 15ths and maybe 30% tops. And these the people that the government put in place to make those calls. Did you not hear what happened to the motherfucking chief in one of the Cherokee tribes and shit that agreed to that shit? They cut that nigga head off. He was he
And
he, he wasn't even half breed, bro. That nigga was like 15% at best.
and
But the government talked to him as if he was the chief and he made that decision. So all you gotta do is just start tracing these so-called chiefs, who the fuck they really are, who their parents are, bro. That shit. And man, you can let the shit read for your motherfucking self, and also who raised the motherfuckers before they came back to the tribe.
No,
and
I
Mike,
agree,
Mike
they
but
check,
didn't,
Mike check.
and the tribes never did actual blood tests.
that's what I
It's
know. I
always
know that's what,
it's
but see, that's what
always
I'm saying.
paper.
Sister
It's
Betty,
paper.
if they did DNA, I know y'all don't believe in it,
Not
but
But
listen,
DNA.
if they
it was
Not
did,
never
hold on.
needed.
DNA.
Here's what I'm
Hey,
saying.
Chef, no. Here's what I'm telling you. It was never needed
Yeah, no,
DNA.
no,
It's
wait, wait,
already
wait.
understood who the Indian is, and it's the Negro. That's it.
See, if that's the case, we wouldn't have cases where they're kicking out these people
Because
of
they
Shaw,
wanted to
that they're
Shaw,
take
claiming
over
Shaw,
our.
of African descent. Who
They
are these
never
Shaw,
African
needed.
descent people?
They didn't want
Shaw.
us to have a government.
No, hold on,
For,
Sister Bethy. What I'm saying is what I'm not disagreeing with that part. What I'm saying is we're claiming, well, not we, because I'm not. You have people saying that Africans wasn't enslaved, that these black people were, that the government or that we're saying now we're African never existed. If
They
that's the
were.
case,
It's not. It's
okay,
true.
cool,
It's
cool, cool.
not.
If that's the case, okay, if that's the case, why are these Native American tribes or Aboriginal or Indian, whatever you want to call them, why are they having court cases where they kicking out these people that are black of African descent?
But
They
see,
are
you see,
not
but
of
see, you
Africa. You
hold
keep
on,
putting
hold,
this
No,
label
hold
on
I'm
on,
it.
sure.
hold
Go
on,
ahead.
hold on,
I can show
Go
you the New Yorker right now.
because
I can show you
he
the
talk
New Yorker right now. Do you want
he
the New
talk
Yorker link of
he
them calling them African?